study the reproductive, becomes part of your zona pellucida. And then these cells surrounding your ovum, okay, this is a very good example of your stratified
Cuboidal.
Stratified cuboidal. Okay? Next, you're not supposed to know the organ yet, but I'll introduce them to you. This is the slide of your liver. The only thing that's important here is the arrangement of your liver cells or your hepatocytes. And this is a very good cell representation of your simple ano class? Cuboidal pa rin. Okay? Simple cuboidal. Remember when you take the practical exams, when you have the history, usually meron drawing beside the microscope. If the drawing does not match with that, with what you see in the microscope, just raise your hand. Okay? This is a common mistake. To the very end of the first year, students are still confused to differentiating this organ from the pancreas. This is your This is actually your kidney, no? So, ang difference yung makikita nyo, you will have your ducts in longitudinal or cross-section. Ang pancreas is not like this. You will see more of acinar cells. So, the concern here will be this one. This is actually your glomerulus, okay? And this is your Bowman's capsule. You have the parietal layer here, which is represented by your simple ano class? Ayan, simple squamous. Okay? The space here is known as your urinary space. And then outside, you will have this proximal and distal tubules. For now, ang difference nila, the proximal would be hazy, would have a hazy lumen. And this is because of the presence of the brush border, which are actually microvilli. So this is your proximal convoluted tubule in reference to your glomerulus, proximal, simple cuboidal with brush border. Yung mga clear, that's distal, away from your glomerulus, so it's simple cuboidal epithelium without brush border. Okay, ito yung longitudinal cut, cross-section. So this would be your distal, proximal, okay? The longitudinal of your distal convoluted tubule. Next, these are your thyroid follicles, okay? So the concern here would be the lining epithelium, which is what class? Simple? Okay. Simple cuboidal. Oh. Next, this comes from the small intestine. Alam niyo na ba kung nasaan ang microvilli?
Yeah,
And then ito?
That's
Huh?
yes.
Is this the microvilli? Are you sure? Where is the microvilli? Yung nasa surface. Okay, so these are actually intestinal villi, one villus, of which you will have the epithelial lining, which is what? Simple columnar. Nakikita niyo ba yung microvilli? Ito. Yung mga hair-like structures. And these are what? Yung white dots, supposedly. So those are your goblet cells. And this inside part is your lamina propria, which is a good example of your loose connective tissue. Okay, this is the large intestine. Again, you will have the villi. Sa GI tract kasi, it's different. You don't have your loose or your dense irregular connective tissue. You have what you call your lamina propria, which is part of the epithelial, of the mucosa, which you will study later. Mucosa, submucosa, muscularis, externa, and then your serosa. So again, this is the villi. Ito yung concern natin. It's lined by the muscular part, which is made up of your smooth. Okay? The nucleus are not well. The nuclei are not shown very well. So this is one villi, and you have so many goblet cells already. Okay? If you were asked to classify pointed gland according to number of cell, the answer is this is the only gland which is unicellular. The rest are multicellular. This is your lamina propria. So the lining epithelium would still be simple columnar. Okay? Simple columnar with goblet cells. Okay, this is your lamina propria.
Goblet cell.
Next.
Goblet cell.
Next, lining epithelium. Power. This is the basement membrane.
Simple
The
columnar.
cells are not all would reach the border.
With
Some
goblet
stay
cells
at the
naman.
base. And you have your cilia. You have your goblet cells. So, anong epithelium yan?
Pseudo-stratified.
Remember, you only have 30 seconds.
Pseudo-stratified.
So, kailangan mabilis kayo. Pseudo-stratified ciliated columnar epithelium with goblet cells.
Friends,
Okay? Epi. Epithelium, our abbreviation is EPIT. Period. Right there. Respiratory tract. Pseudostratified ciliated columnar epithelium with goblet cell. Okay. Again, you will have your lamina propria, your muscular area, but this is our concern.
parang inoccupied.
This is your epithelium. This comes from your esophagus. Classify, class. Stratified squamous, non-keratinized, or wet type. You can use the wet type. Non-keratinized or wet type. So it's stratified squamous epithelium. Okay? What is the basis of classifying this epithelium? Will it be the base, the topmost, or the number of cells? Anong basis? The topmost. Okay? You have your single line, flat cells. Classify, class. Be specific. Another. Stratified squamous epithelium.
Stratified.
Keratinized. Ulit. Stratified squamous epithelium. Keratinized, not keratinized. That cannot be keratinized. That comes from the vagina.
Hindi, kasi tignan mo yung taas yung
Okay. So stratified squamous epithelium,
Pag yun talagang dry yung
non-keratinized. Up to the top kasi, meron pa rin kayong nucleus. Okay.
So, non-keratinized. Wet.
This slide comes from the testes, and these are your seminiferous tubules.
Ganun pa rin, certified squamous epithelial.
Okay. Within the tubule, this is the lumen. You will actually have the stages of spermatogenesis, and these are your spermatogonia cells. So, ang representation lang nito is what? Stratified cuboidal. Okay? Stratified cuboidal. Next, this is your epididymis. Spelling ha? Epididy. D-I-D-Y. Epididymis. Okay, what is the lining epithelium?
Simple columnar. Hindi, tama, simple columnar. Simple columnar.
Parang arrange kasi. Itong mas maganda. Alam niyo kung ano to? Okay, spermatids. This is the nice one. Ano to? Pseudostratified columnar epithelium with stereocilia.
Stratified epithelium. With stulus, ano? With
Meron pa rin kayong spermatids.
With, ano?
With
Squamous.
Hindi ko alam paano ito
Okay.
i-pronounce, guys. May USB ba kayong dala?
This is your
Matagal to.
Sure
ureter.
ka squamous yun.
Okay? If you're asked to identify the lining
Ano
epithelium
kanina?
of your ureter,
So,
or for that
stratified
matter, any part of the urinary system,
Ano yung kanina?
how would you answer? Identify.
sorry.
Ano daw?
With stress.
Iba urothelium. Pag classify, transitional. Just put transitional ha, walang stratified transitional.
Ano daw yan?
Ano naman to?
Hindi,
Okay.
I mean, ano part?
This is your ureter.
Urethra.
Transition.
Mas maganda yung sa susunod. This is the urinary bladder. How would you know it's the transitional epithelium?
Irregular.
You will see several kinds of cells. Cuboidal kayo, may balloon, may polygonal. Meron pa kayong umbrella cell. A cell which protects three, in this case, 3 cells. This is what you call your umbrella cell. And this is your transitional epithelium. When it's filled with urine, it's pressed, okay? It flattens. When there's no urine, para siyang accordion na it rises again. So, in any urinary tract, whichever part, it's always transitional. Okay? If you're shown this slide and you're asked to identify, how will you answer? Skeletal muscle. Pag ang pinakita sa inyo is the erector pili, identify, how will you answer? Ha?
Stratified.
Pag ang pinakita erector pili, ang sagot nyo would be identify erector pili. Okay? If you know the specific name of the structure, then you put erector pili. Pag ganito, it's okay for you to put skeletal. Classify.
Skeleton.
Skeletal. Bakit skeletal?
Striations.
Striated and peripheral.
So pag identify elector pila yan.
Hindi.
Ano?
Striations.
Pag-identify na
Nuclei
nakaturo
are
sa rector
located
pili, rector
peripherally.
pili. Pero pag-identify
Skeletal.
or classify, skeletal.
Skeleton.
This is a slide that comes from the uterus. So this identify or classify bracketed tissue.
Post mo yan, Marian.
Hindi ko kaya, friend. Malaki yung
This is
file.
your
Post mo yan.
May USB ba
smooth
kayo?
muscle tissue.
USB. Pwede.
Okay? Smooth longitudinal cross section. So you will be shown the
Yung pero with the long-
longitudinal orientation.
Sa may rami muna USB ko.
Okay? Cardiac, why?
May, sa histo gawin ko.
Nose way, transient.
Pag nasasagot mo, okay
Intercalated
na
this.
kayo. May branching.
Yeah, branch.
But of course, if we will ask for the cardiac, this is the better one because you have the presence of your
Intercalated this. Tsaka centrally located nucleus.
Next, during the preparation, this portion, okay, nag-split up, dapat they're together, okay? And this is what, class? Okay? Where is your pigment epithelium? Is it this one, or this one, or this one?
Pigment cells.
Is this the pigment epithelium? Ito. Ito. Ano ang composition ng pigment epithelium? It's made up of what? I mean yung cells nyo. Simple cuboidal. Okay? Now, this is the outer and the inner nuclear. This is the outer nuclear layer. This is the inner nuclear layer. You will never see the processes, but this is a very good example of your bipolar neurons. Okay? Retina. Sorry, this is the retina. Naghiwalay lang siya during the preparation. Okay? This is the pigment epithelium. Simple cuboidal. Okay? This is part of the choroid layer. Andito yung nervous layer natin. Okay? Wala naman ngayon yung pigment. Again, this is the outer. This is the inner. This is the ganglion cell layer. You have your rods and cones. Okay? So this is the naka-bracket dyan. Classify pointed layer, bracketed layer according to the number of processes. Processes. So ito yung bipolar. Okay? Next. What slide? This is a cross-section of your spinal cord. Alin ang anterior, alin ang posterior. This part is what? Okay. This is the posterior part. Your concern here will be these cells. Ito.
Neurons.
Question. Identify pointed cell. Dapat nasagot nyo na yan. Identify pointed cell.
Hmm? Oo,
Anterior horn
horn.
cell.
Anterior horn
Classify
cell.
pointed cell according to number of processes.
Yun ay multi.
Classify according to function. Hindi na kayo sumagot. Usually, pag multipolar, motor. Usually, pag motor, multipolar. Okay? According to size, Golgi type. According to shape, stellate. Okay? Ayan yung nucleus niya. Sa gitna. Nakikita niyo yung process. Ayan. Type 1. Okay. What will you find in this slide?
Yeah.
This is a cross-section of your skeletal
Skeletal.
tissue.
Neuromuscular.
Hindi, yung isa yun, yung parang weird.
Yep. The neuromuscular
Ah, saan?
spindle.
Ayun.
Asan?
Yun.
Ito?
Hindi, yun.
Ito?
Oo. Hindi, ayan.
Pag yan, hindi nyo pa nakuha. It will not be shown this big, ha? Masyado malaki. Yan,
Okay.
pwede na yan.
friend.
When
Alam
you
na natin si Big.
identify, give the
Oo.
function.
Skeletal na. Tapos yan.
Okay, so proprioception is okay. Or position sense. Receptor.
Ano daw?
Proprioception.
Ano pa pa?
Next,
Kasi niyang po parcel.
where? Huh?
No.
Huh?
Positions.
Classify. Pag-identify, pasin yan. Pag-classify,
Pag nalasing ka,
lamellated connective tissue.
Laminate.
Ano to, class?
Adipose.
Mucus.
Okay, very good.
Ano?
Ano function?
Pressure.
Ang gawin?
Pressure.
This one is easy.
Nerve trunk.
This is your
Ha?
Neuron.
Kasi niyang
nerve
corpus,
trunk. Okay? Identify
Ayun yung
pointed
Epi.
layer.
Epi.
Epi.
Ah.
Classify. Dense. Irregular. Ano to, class?
Very.
Perinurium. Pag ang tinatanong sa inyo, yung ito, the one in the center, yung black. So
Axon.
that is your,
Axon.
sa loob na tayo, di ba? This is the peri. This would be your
Endo.
Endo.
axon.
Yun yung pinakalong axon.
Yung white space is the
Myelin sheath.
myelin. Tapos itong ano niya is the endonurium. Please do not interchange nurium and misium.
Nurium. Pag neuron.
Minsan alam na alam nyo na pero lalagay nyo misium. Sayang.
Axon is black and yung white is orange.
Classify encircled structure. Classify. Classify nervous tissue. Identify. Okay, this is your dorsal root ganglion. Look at the arrangement of your cell bodies and the fibers. Okay, they are clustered. Okay? Classify according to functions.
Sensory.
Meron mo kayong 50% chance na tumama. It's either motor or sensory.
Sensory. Sensory. Sa tingin ko. Kasi sense lang siya.
This would be your cell body. Nag-shrink na siya. The nucleus is located at the center. You have your glial fibers and you have the presence of your satellite cells. Classify this organ according to number of processes. Pseudo-unipolar. According to function, ano pa rin yun?
Satellite. Ano?
Motor,
Satellite.
sensory. Ano?
Ano may full
Ano pa
structure?
rin?
Dorsal ganglion.
This is your sympathetic. Okay? Tignan niyo yung arrangement ngayon ng cell bodies and the
Ano
fibers.
yung kilala ko?
The term we use
Yan lang may ikaw ang may
is
alam.
interspersed. Hindi sila nagka-cluster. Okay?
Sa class.
So again, pag pina-classify, it's the same, it's nervous tissue. But if you're asked to classify according to function,
Sensory, di ba?
Oo, sa sympathetic.
motor to ha, hindi nyo makikita pero it's multipolar. So these are the cell bodies, the nucleus are located at the periphery, and there is no satellite
So
cells.
motor siya.
Most likely, papakita naman sa inyo yan, tsaka yan. Okay? Hirap na yan. Okay, this comes from the cerebral
Sympathetic
cortex.
yung pag-
Ito yung concern natin.
Dorsal.